Frank, obviously, Crow Cop's, coming in late. Heard about the eye injury. Do you feel like there are a lot of excuses coming into this fight, or how do you hear it? How do you deal with that?
No, I mean, because realistically now with the eye, it's a visible injury, so there has to be an explanation behind it. I think that he did a good job of explaining what he meant by the 5-week period. When I first heard about it, I felt that he was setting himself up saying, well, taking the fight, short notice, I'm going to do my best, but don't expect much, was kind of like the interpretation I received. But then after we did the conference call last Wednesday or Thursday, I understood better than saying, hey, I'm going to go out there and perform my best. I'm just explaining to everybody the circumstances of what's going on, not really vying for an excuse. Where other fighters in the past, when they explain an injury or a circumstance, it seems like they're, well, this is why I lost. Not, well, hey, I'm just letting my fans know what my condition is and what's going on with me.
Does it change anything for you at all, though, really?
No, because in the back of my mind, I still have it to where, obviously he didn't fake the eye injury, but, Mirko, especially being somebody of a military background, seems like a very intelligent guy. I don't want to go in there and go, all right, well, walk in the park, this guy doesn't know if he wants to fight anymore. Go in there, it's be like a glorified sparring match, and all of a sudden, I'll get caught with my pants down. So I'm still going out there to try to put him away as intelligently and as effectively as I possibly can.
How difficult was the adjustment from Nogueira to Crow Cop?
Obviously, Crow Cop is more dynamic as far as what strikes he possesses. Nogueira poses his own threats, so he has that constant pace that comes forward. Where Mirko, I have sometimes, which is good because it's actually improved me as a fighter. I like Mirko's pace. That this, move around, let's look for. I'll throw something, but it's going to be a serious shot, and then we'll vie for position. The non-stop forward motion is something I've had to work on. So it's actually been a good treat for me to actually train for Mirko. Coming off Nogueira because I was in good shape, anticipating Nogueira. But now with Mirko, I've tried to keep it going. I was like, okay, I can't fight at the same pace I like to because that's also Mirko's pace. And if I do so, I'm making it easier for him. So I have to be more Nogueira-ish, as far as, keep it more of a high intensity and keep it active, not give him time to set things up and plan.
What do you hope this leads to for you in your career as far as this particular match?
Well, this particular match, I feel that it would be another notch on the belt as far as a win over a very well-known competitor. It's somebody, in Mirko who's, a long time was considered one of the best in the world. Even now, if people are feeling like they might be returning back to his form, which I feel that he's still at that form. So to have a win over Mirko, he goes up there with a win over Nogueira, the win over Lesnar, Sylvia, other people that are named opponents in MMA.
Do you shout a little louder that you're worthy of a rematch with the champion?
No, not yet. I don't think so. I think
the process to build to.
Right. I think this is. Obviously, a loss is not going to help my my cause, but a win is helping me out. But I don't think it's if a win over Carwin or Velasquez, I think is a stronger statement towards trying to make a statement towards Brock. Right now, Brock's a champion and a very dominant champ, and I don't deserve a title shot after my next fight. I need to put a few more together.
Frank, you talked about, after the last fight, not focusing so much on putting on extra weight to deal with the size. With Crow Cop, you just went to a much smaller, much quicker heavyweight. How much did that help you in the long run, being able to do that?
Well, actually, I think that if I came in at the walk around 280 and cut into 265, I think that would have been a detriment in this fight because I still don't know how to use that size, whereas other individuals, their style is more built for it, like a Carwin and a Lesnar. I don't think that way. Even the way I move and I speak and the way I analyze fights, I'm really a small guy stuck in a larger guy's body. So me trying to be a big brute, even in the Carwin fight, there was a scene there I was watching where after a really nice combination, I even come in so quick and fast that I hit him with an overhand elbow. I was able to close that gap, and then he gets smashed with it and he clinches me. Then he just very casually Mirandas me towards the cage, and you don't see any fight from me. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, this is fine. And if I had been lighter, I probably would have fell back and tried to go for some kind of movement. I don't have that in me to want to sit there and play bull for bull. So even if I put on the size and I'm capable of pushing around equal or even greater weight than somebody like a Carwin or a Lesnar, I'm not going to use it the same. Whereas also to them, if you told them to go ahead and hit a Granby to a double, to go ahead and sink in the hooks and rear naked choke or switch off to an armbar, they're probably not going to do that, unless the guy they're doing it was really cooperating. I move that way. And so being of the mid-range or the heavyweights, I think is going to be better for me.
And stylistically, you went from a guy with boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to basically a K1 level striker. Is it just mostly game plan, or were there big changes in your camp in those last 5 weeks?
Honestly, the biggest change was the left to right-handed. Some of the angles were slightly different. Whereas with Nogueira, this side was more dangerous. Now this is the dangerous side that I have to be cautious of. Other than that, no, because in the camps I really do work on what I need to improve on. Wrestling is something that, as far as even positioning on the ground, is something I've been very weak at. I finally, I was sitting there talking to my jiu-jitsu coaches, and I came to the realization of what I did wrong. It's too much the instructor when it came to jiu-jitsu as of the last several years. When I roll with people, I'll let them get position on me, move around, and all of a sudden 3 or 4 minutes into the match, I'll hit a submission on them. For whatever reason, subconsciously, I've been taking that into the fights with me, where I sit there and I don't freak out about bad position. Kind of a training mentality because of being nice to guys I give seminars to, students I have, and so I've gotten to the point where now when I train viciously on the ground. I don't sit there and I'm not nice. If you start grimacing, you don't like the weight that I'm putting on you, the pressure, tap. Someone else can jump in the cage and train with me. Even when I grab my own wife now, a couple times she's like, she's asking me a question about what's going on, and I lock up the move and I start, so what are you doing? I'm like, oh yeah, it's either I show you like this or I won't touch you the wrong. I won't induce bad habits anymore to my training.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank.